Jai, and we're back with the elevation to Krishna consciousness by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Starting chapter 6, Taking to Krishna Consciousness, on page number 77. In India, all scriptures and great spiritual teachers, including Shankaracharya, an impersonalist, accept Krishna as the Supreme Lord. In the beginning of his commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, Shankaracharya says that Narayana is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested creation. And in the same commentary, he says that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, is Krishna, appearing as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva. Thus, in this respect, there is little difference of opinion about Krishna. Those who are authorities, be they personalists or impersonalists, are in agreement that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. When Krishna was present on this planet, he proved by his activities and opulence that he is the Supreme Lord. If we are actually anxious to understand who and what the Supreme Lord is, all of the information is given in Vedic scriptures, Vedic literatures. If we utilize whatever we have in our possession to understand God, Krishna will prove that He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If we but accept this one fact, then all of our education is complete. It is fashionable to research, to try to find out who is God, but this is not necessary. God is present, and He Himself says, Mattah parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya Mahi sarvamidham protam sutre mani ganaiva. Quote, O conqueror of wealth, Arjuna, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. Unquote, Bhagavad Gita 7.7. This information is not only given in Bhagavad Gita, but in other scriptures as well. And it has been accepted from the very beginning by great acharyas, teachers like Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Lord Chaitanya, and many other stalwart personalities, authorities. Even at the present moment, those who do not accept Krishna as the Supreme Lord are accepting the knowledge given by Krishna to Arjuna. So, in this way, they are accepting Krishna indirectly. If one accepts Bhagavad Gita as a great book of knowledge, he is also accepting Krishna. There is no doubt that the Supreme Absolute Truth is Krishna, and that we have our relationship, eternal relationship with Him. Our eternal relationship with God is Shab Bhajan. God is great and we are subordinate. He is the predominator and we are the predominated. The duty of the subordinate is to please the predominator. Similarly, if we want to be happy, we must learn how to make Krishna happy. This is the process of Krishna consciousness. But how is it to be understood that the Supreme Lord is satisfied by our service and labor? It is actually possible to perfect our service or occupational duty. Everyone has some service to perform according to his designations. He may be an Indian or American, Hindu, Muslim or Christian, man, woman, Brahman, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, or whatever. In any case, he is meant to do some sort of work, and that work is his occupational duty. Perfection of duty can be tested by seeing whether the Supreme Lord is satisfied by its execution. The Supreme Lord's satisfaction can be tested by the Lord's representative, the spiritual master. Therefore, it is important to seek out a real representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and work under Him. If He is satisfied, then we should know that the Supreme Lord is also satisfied. That is explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado, yasya prasadan nagati kutopi dhyayam stuvam stasya yashastri sandhyam vande guroshri charanaravindam. Quote, by the mercy of the spiritual master, one is benedicted by the mercy of Krishna. Without the grace of the spiritual master, no one can make any advancement. Therefore, I should always remember the spiritual master. At least 3 times a day I should offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master. Shri Gurvashtakam, verse 8. Unquote. The spiritual master is the representative of the Supreme Lord. How does he become the representative? If one says that such and such an object is a pair of spectacles, and if he teaches his disciple in this way, there is no mistake as to the identity of the object. The spiritual master is he who has captured the words of particular disciplic succession. In the case given, the key word is spectacles, that's all. The spiritual master does not have to say anything beyond that. This is the qualification. Krishna says, I am the Supreme, and the spiritual master says, Krishna is the Supreme. It is not that to be a representative of Krishna or to be a spiritual master one has to have any extraordinary qualification. He simply has to carry the message from the authority as it is without any personal interpretation. As soon as there is some personal interpretation, the message is lost and the instructions become offensive. A person who interprets the scriptures according to his own whims should be immediately rejected. Once Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you must at least have enough sense to test, to find out who is a spiritual master and who is not. For instance, if we want to purchase something, we must at least have some idea of what that thing is, otherwise we will be cheated. If we want to purchase a mango from the market, we must at least know what type of food a mango is and what it looks like. Similarly, we must have some preliminary knowledge of the qualification for a bona fide spiritual master. Bhagavad Gita itself gives some information about the succession of spiritual masters. Lord Shri Krishna says, Imam vivasvate yogam proktavanaham avyayam vivasvan manave praha manorikshvakave bravit evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduh sakaliniham mahata yogo nashtah parantapa sa evayam maya tedya yoga proktah puratana bhakto sime sakha cheti rahasyam yetaduttamam. Quote, I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to the sun god Vivasvan, and Vivasvan instructed it to Manu, the father of mankind, and Manu in turn instructed it to Ikshvaku. This supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in due course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it is appears to be lost. That very ancient science of the relationship with the Supreme is told today by me to you, because you are my devotee as well as my friend. Therefore, you can understand the transcendental mystery of this science. Bhagavad Gita 4.1-3. That original spiritual disciplic succession was broken, but now we can receive the same message by studying Bhagavad Gita. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks to Arjuna, just as in a far distant time he spoke to the sun god. If we accept the words of Arjuna and Krishna, it may be possible for us to understand Bhagavad Gita. But if we want to interpret it in our own way, the results will be nonsensical. The best way to understand Bhagavad Gita is to accept a bona fide spiritual master. This is not very difficult. Arjuna says that he accepts all that Krishna has said to him, because Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nashto moha smritir labdha tvat prasadan mayachyuta sthitosmi gata sandehah karishye vachanam tava. Arjuna said, "My dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy, and now I am fixed, without any doubt, prepared to act according to your instructions." Unquote. Bhagavad Gita 18.73. Yes, we're going to stop here for today on this very determined note. Thank you so much for tuning in. The link to this book is in the description, and our email for the feedback or any questions is also right there. Thank you so much again for tuning in. This was Shravanam Diaries, and we will see you next time.